at the root of this is money. I think a number of elected Republicans are taking a look at their donors and are listening to their consultants. And they are seeing that people who donate big amounts of money to them want amnesty. That's number one. And do not make the mistake of de-emphasizing or not placing enough attention on emphasis on this, because it is true. In this instance, a lot of people would like to believe that all this is about ideas and consequences. And my friends, there is a growing phenomenon in this country of crony capitalism taking place. For example, there's an old wives' tale, an old myth that basically holds that big money, moneyed interests, always support Republicans. And that just isn't the case anymore. Big money supports government. Major American corporations, corporate America, have you noticed? I have, over many recent years, doesn't criticize big government at all. I forget when I first noticed this, but I remember the first time the realization hit me, I was genuinely surprised. Because I used to be a believer in this old wives' tale. Wall Street, big money, CEOs were Republicans because they wanted government out of their way. That used to be true. And when it first started registering on me that that's out the window and that major corporate interests now get in bed with government, I can give you an example. It's not by any stretch the only one. With Obama, there are many of them, by the way. But take a look at General Electric. GE got in bed with Obama on green energy. Obama was funneling federal money to GE for research and development into green issues. GE, of course, took it. The CEO ends up on an Obama commission on job creation and so forth. GE is not paying any taxes on $5 billion of profit. And they found a way to profit from being involved in government. And it's not just GE. More and more corporations are profiting from being involved in government. Being involved in the EPA, being involved at the Department of Agriculture. So the old idea that big money corporations or Wall Street wants nothing to do with big government because it's an obstacle, it's gone out the window. It's not, just the exact opposite. Corporate cronyism is on the increase. In fact, there's a story about it, the Atlantic.com, the security industrial complex. And it is all about the new relationship that corporate America has with government. Government's willing to give it money, enable it to profit in order for partnerships with Obama. There were a number of these partnerships that kind of raised eyebrows during Obamacare, for example. Hospitals, insurance companies got in bed with Obama to fund Obamacare TV ads. Now, these people happen to want the influx of illegal immigrants because they are cheap labor. It's the Atlantic.com, the security industrial complex. We'll link to the story at rushlimbaugh.com. So, in this whole amnesty bill, immigration, pathway to citizenship, comprehensive reform, I would urge you to stop thinking about ideas and consequences and the Constitution, because that's not at play here. What's at play here is money. If these elected Republicans are told by their donors that the money's going to dry up if this amnesty thing doesn't happen, what are they going to do? And if there's a lot of it, if there's a lot of corporate PAC money, corporate personal donation money coming from people who want amnesty, what's going to happen? Now, on the other side of it, when Senator Graham says we're in a demographic death spiral as a party and we got to get back into good graces of the Hispanic community, what he's talking about is the optics. We mentioned this earlier. The story, as developed and promoted by the drive-by media, is that Hispanics hate Republicans. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. The fact that it exists as it does is what's relevant. And since it exists, since the Hispanics reputedly believe this, the Republicans think that they have to do something to show them that they don't hate them, that the optics are wrong. And Senator Graham is simply saying we have got to pass immigration, if for no other reason, to tell the Hispanics we don't hate them, to counter this perception that they have that has been created. And if we don't do it, then we are forever going to lose those votes. Now, those votes are not even 8% of the turnout in 2012. We're talking about an electorate, a percentage of the electorate under 8%. There are certainly other demographic areas for Republicans to shore up. And it is true, if Mitt Romney had received 70%, if everything else stayed the same, if Romney had received 70% of the Hispanic vote, he still would not have won. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There are two things at work here. All of the moneyed interests, the donors and the political consultants, are telling these Republicans the money is going to dry up if they don't support amnesty. And the big money people want it because they want it for various other reasons. They have nothing to do with the Constitution or the law. They want it for their own specific interests, a case of business, cheap labor, any number of other reasons. But you can't rule the money out of this. In fact, the money is the number one reason behind this. But the Republicans do believe, Graham is being honest here when he says that the party's in a demographic death spiral and the only way to get back in good graces with the Hispanic community is to pass immigration reform. And it's immigration reform because that's reputedly what the Hispanics want. If the Hispanics wanted something else, then they would all be for that. Senator McCain has admitted that they're not going to get one vote after passing amnesty. He's admitted it. He said that's not the purpose. The purpose is to get us back in the game with Hispanics. Right now, we're not even in the game, he said. They won't even listen to us. They won't listen to our campaigns. They won't listen to our message. We've got to do something to show them that we don't hate them. Then they'll at least listen to us, and then we have an opening where we can take our message of whatever it is. Limited government, belief in the individual, free markets, be the best you can be, join us, on and on and on. But they believe right now the Hispanics won't even listen to them. No less than Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey also said the Republicans' presidential prospects are forever over if they don't pass this legislation. Now, my question to that, and I'm sorry for being so silly and naive and stupid, but I ask myself, why does Bob Menendez care whether we win the presidency or not? And I mean, a better question. Why does Senator Menendez want us to win the presidency? Why does Senator Menendez want us to be in the presidential sweepstakes? Wouldn't Senator Menendez really love it if we were aced out? Wouldn't every Democrat, and from Obama on down, their mission is to eliminate all opposition, don't forget. So when Democrats also join Senator Graham and say, yep, you guys, you better do something fast or you're never going to have a chance at the presidency. Is that what they want? The Democrats want us to win the presidency? And that's why they're advising us on the right way to go on this legislation? That's how it appears to me. That Senator Menendez and other Democrats have said the same thing, too. You guys are never going to stand a chance if you don't change your views on Hispanics. If you guys don't change your attitude here on immigration, you're never going to win the presidency. As the Democrats, they want us to win the presidency. That's news to me, too. Now, the caller's question, why now admit this? And to me, that's not a recent admission. The fact that they think they're not even in the ballgame with Hispanics right now, and the only way to get in the game is by supporting this immigration reform bill. That's, I don't know, I've known that for as many years as they've been trying to pass amnesty. The key thing, I think, for everybody to really look at here, forget the, how many are going to vote Democrat and how many are going to vote Republican. Forget, that's not how the Republicans are looking at this. I guarantee you they're not. They're looking at it financially. Number one, all of their big money wants the bill. All of the Republican major donors want this bill. I'll give you some names. The Koch brothers, Sheldon Adelson. I mean, they want the bill because they want the influx of new labor. They want it. They're not concerned with how anybody's going to vote down the line. As long as these guys can stay aligned with whoever is running government, they're in Fat City. So it doesn't matter what party runs the government, as long as they're in bed with them. Meanwhile, you and I naively sit out here and talk about the Constitution and right and wrong and the law and this kind of stuff when that is not really a factor here.